Hello and welcome to the Watering Hole. Thanks for checking out this clip. Don't forget to like and subscribe because that'll make the baby Jesus cry, and I know how much you guys love making the baby Jesus cry. Hola y bienvenidos a mi canal. Fuck. I don't do Spanish, apparently. Hi, welcome to my channel. Vice Rhino here. Cirrus, you'll notice, is staring at his boobs over there. That's because he apparently had a grill emergency while cooking dinner. Nothing serious. It sounded like he just ran out of propane and so dinner was delayed, and so now he's cooking while I stream with his dead body. Because that's fun. Yeah. This is an entertaining stream. Anyway, so yeah, recent events have me back on the whiskey, so there we go. Drinking the Macallan 12-year-old. Actually, it's not recent events. It's my dad cleaned out his liquor cabinet and he had one of these, and I wasn't going to let him throw it out. So I grabbed it. It's not dead. The tail is still moving. Have you heard of, like, the twitching happens sometimes? It's because my axe is embedded in his nervous system. I'm sorry, I can't do accents. That was my best Gimli impression. Ooh, okay. Well, you're in Canada, you're allowed to do certain crimes. From what I've heard, the Geneva Convention is all about Canada wins too much and we need to nerf them. So yeah, related to some of the news stories that we're going to be talking about tonight, if Trump actually does make a serious play for annexing Canada, we ain't going to stand for that shit. Our politicians have made it very clear that that is not on the table. The citizens have made it very clear that that is not on the table. And so if he tries anything, he's going to have to do it through force. And you don't want to mess with Canadians. It's like, I'm not proud of this, but stick Canadians in a war, and we do a lot of fucked up shit. Canadians are brutal in war, like disgustingly brutal. Like, yeah, the Geneva Convention exists because Canada is fucked up. Yes, it's like the quiet kid at the back of the class who's usually nice to everybody. You push that kid too far, he will fuck you up. That's Canada. We're the only country on D-Day that actually accomplished all our goals. Because, like, we just charged the places, the little nest things that the Germans set up with their machine guns. We just charged those things and didn't give a fuck. It was like, fuck it, I just want this to be over, so I'm gonna do it. Yeah, we didn't take prisoners, usually, even when that would have been appropriate according to the rules of war. So yeah, no, you don't want to fuck with Canada. We're messed up. And, like, yeah, we're all polite when we're friends and everything, but we don't give quarter in wartime. Now, that said, I am absolutely a fucking coward who would grab my family and run to England if if push comes to shove. But yeah. And Fennec says, what a wild thing to walk into doing my skincare. Yeah, no, I'm just casually mentioning how, yeah, Canada has a reputation for being polite, but we also have a reputation for fucking shit up if you push us too far. So, yeah, I do have small humans that I need to keep safe. But still, the traditional thing to do in that scenario is to send them to England with the woman while I fight the bad guys. Macallan is nice, but I prefer heavily peated Scotch like Ardbeg. I've never heard of Ardbeg. Yeah, no, I don't like the peaty ones because they tend to leave, like, if you get so much as a little tiny splash on, like, your mustache hairs, that's all you'll be smelling forever. So Doug Ford has temporarily decided not to cut power to New York, Minnesota, and Michigan. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that decision. Ford needs to stick to his guns because he said that he was not going to back off until the threats of tariffs were just completely off the table, and then he backed off because they agreed to give him a meeting. It was like, no, fuck you, Doug. They didn't say the tariffs are gone, so keep the surcharge. It wasn't cutting power. We were going to charge a 25% surcharge. England, the place to retreat from the fascist if necessary before putting the fascists out of business. Well, in my case, it's convenience mostly. I can get my UK passport, so I don't need. Like, I'm going to start the application process soon, but like, I wouldn't need a visa or refugee status or anything to go there. I'd just have my passport, and because they Brexited, I'm not sure if that would apply to anywhere in Europe. So that's just the place I would go. Also, I do have family over there. I don't know them well, but I do have some people. Yeah. Okay, so Cyrus is still grilling stuff. What do we do for entertainment while we wait for him to come back? Fucking can't plan out his dinner. His propane ran out. Yeah, it's simultaneously funny and terrifying that the plot of a South Park movie isn't too far off from reality. Yeah, but also the plot of Idiocracy, except the main difference of Idiocracy is that President Camacho actually did want what was best for his country, as opposed to just being interested in personal wealth increasing. So, yeah. Ooh, JD Vance is coming to Progress Only's town on Friday, and the local DSA and the Dems are organizing protests. Yeah, you show him who's boss. Could narrate Cyrus cooking sort of like how he narrated you peeing. So now Cyrus is whipping out his dick at the grill. And he's asking, does anyone want any sausages? Because I got a tiny little hot dog here. Yeah, no, I'm not creative enough for that sort of shit. Cyrus can actually cook. He does cooking streams sometimes. Nah, he cooks Factor. That's not cooking. Or HelloFresh or some shit like that. Meal in a box kits. Actually, no, I lie. I used to have, I forget which company I was with, but we used to do the meal in a box things because it's like, oh, good. It's like 3 meals a week. We don't need to plan. We can do that. That'd be fine. But what I found was the portion sizes were tiny and they did none of the prep work. So like they would send like, if like there was a shrimp taco recipe that was the worst offender probably. Hi, sir.
Wait, shrimp taco recipe?
What? Yeah, no, we're talking about meal kit things.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
that
and I'm talking about
makes sense.
The one that I used to have is like, so my idea of those things was they send you all the ingredients and they always say they're pre-portioned ingredients, which to me says that like the vegetables have been chopped, everything like that has been done or whatever.
It's no, like, nope, it's just portioned to serving size.
Yeah, and the serving sizes were tiny. So like, and I would say the shrimp tacos were the worst offenders because the shrimp that they sent were not just like, they didn't just still have the tail on them. They they had their whole shell with all the legs and everything still on them.
Oh, you had to do the full deveining. At that point, yeah. At that point, you could just buy salad cocktail shrimp that are already cooked, deveined, and everything, and it's way less effort.
That's what we said. I was making shrimp tacos when I decided to cancel our subscription. So
apologies, I am downing the food that was supposed to be consumed 10 minutes ago, but my grill conked out on me, and not in a I need to repair the grill way, in a
I didn't have a spare can of propane around way,
which would have taken even more time to set up at that point. Just even though it's ripping it out and putting a new one in, now I've got 2 empty things of propane, and now I have 3 empty things of propane because I forgot to go I keep forgetting to bring the propane into the car when I go grocery shopping. So I need to do that tomorrow so that I have the propane. Because this was supposed to be super quick and super easy. It's just grilled chicken over salad. I had fast food when I went to go try to do plasma donation today, so I have to have low calorie stuff right now. So I thought this was going to be super
Oh,
quick and easy.
no, we're all going to Van Briggs' house. He's got shrimp fried rice.
Yeah, fuck the salad. I'm kidding. Gone. We're doing that. No, this is just lettuce, carrots, bell peppers, and onions with grilled chicken that's just been quickly dry rubbed and was supposed to be grilled, but ended up being pan seared halfway through because I had enough fire to work with the chicken for a bit, and then I left it and left the timer do its thing, went back outside expecting everything to be done, and then no propane, raw chicken on the bottom, cooked chicken on top. Like, oh, okay, cool. That's just going to extend all of my cooking work today. That's fantastic.
Yeah. Well, what you missed from me was that I was basically saying that with like if Trump actually makes a push to annex Canada, it's going to come down to military action because we ain't having that shit. And there's a reason there is a joke in military circles about how in the Canadian military the saying is it's not a war crime the first time you do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because Canadians are the worst people to fight against in war because we are some brutal motherfuckers when you push us.
Yeah. You are unironically the meme of the nice guy when he stops smiling.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, no, the Germans were terrified of us in both world wars, and for good reason. And like, I'm not saying this as a brag, like I am proud of this, because like there are stories about like Canadian soldiers stabbing Germans to death who were in tears on their knees begging to surrender. And like, that's not a proud moment of our history.
Wait, your proud moment wasn't watching a Nazi beg for their life?
This is World War One, so
Your proud moment wasn't watching proto-Nazi? They weren't Nazis yet, you're right.
yeah, okay. I see what you're getting at. However, I don't know. This is one of the interesting things because like I do not know how I would be if I ended up as a soldier in a war at some point. Like I don't like the idea of taking someone's life, but I also know from hearing people in the military talk is that it's the people who brag about like, oh yeah, I'm the toughest, I'm the biggest, meanest, baddest guy or whatever. Those are the guys that are most likely to be cowering in fear when shit hits the fan. Whereas the guys who are, you know, more modest and like, no, I don't know I'll do my best, I guess. Those guys are the ones that will actually get shit done. So just going by that, I would probably be a guy who gets shit done, but I don't ever want to find out.
Nah, I'm with you there. I feel like I know exactly how I would be in wartime though. Likely dead.
Yeah.
Very, very likely. It is. So I have guns and I am perfectly willing to use one in a situation of defense against someone that or like defense for somebody that I love. But it's very hard for me to imagine myself with a depersonified enemy on the other end of a line when there's a cause that I don't even know if I believe in telling me I have to go do this thing for money.
Well, so the thing with the Canadians is that the reason we were so brutal in war was kind of because of that. It was I don't want to be here, so the sooner I get this shit done, the sooner I get to go home.
Y'all
so
weren't having
watch the
fun.
fuck out. I like if I just kill all y'all motherfuckers, I get to go back home to my family. So it's kind of that. We're like, no, I don't believe in this cause. I just want to go home. And the easiest way to go home is to make sure I'm on the winning team. Rober Adset says Canadian trench weapons were medieval. Yeah, so you know the story from World War One about how there was the Christmas truce where everybody was like holding hands across the dead or the no man's zone or whatever, singing Christmas carols together. So that was before Canada was there. When Canada was when Canada was in the war, the Germans tried to initiate that again on Christmas. At which point we busted out the machine guns as soon as they popped their heads up from the trenches and mowed them down on Christmas Day. So
that's terrifying.
yeah.
You are Canadians corrupters of children's stories.
No Man's Land. That's what I was looking for. My head was all a jumble of No Man's Sky, Demilitarized Zone, and a couple other things probably. But I'm a sucker. When YouTube recommends a video to me that is someone dunking on the Cybertruck, I click on it. Most of them say all the same things again, but I will still enjoy watching it. The latest one was a Jerry Rig Everything video where he actually tested the trailer hitch because it's rated for 11,000 pounds of towing capacity.
Mm-hmm.
The thing snapped clean off at 10,400 pounds. And
why do people even buy them?
It failed. It failed in a way that, like, even if it failed, it should not have failed like that.
Mm-hmm.
And like the whole back end of the truck fell off. Like, so that would include the safety chains on your trailer.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're towing something that's near the capacity or whatever, you hit a pothole, and suddenly it changes the load distribution from being pulled laterally to being pulled vertically for a second. That could potentially snap the back half of your truck off, and the safety chains go with it. So now there's a free, like a completely free trailer careening down the highway.
Yeah, now somebody's definitely getting injured from that.
And that has actually happened out in the real world. There was someone towing something with a Cybertruck, their thing popped off, and then they got rear-ended by their own trailer when they hit the brakes.
And if you're doing everything within what the vehicle is supposed to be able to do, like you're not doing anything outside of what it's supposed to do, does Elon actually get in trouble for any of that, or is that entirely on the end user?
Well, I don't know, because there have been so many recalls with the Cybertruck already, and like a lot of them have been like not recalls that have been instituted by Tesla as a just-in-case thing. Some of them have been that, but a lot of them have been, I think it's the NHSTA, something like that, the actual like regulators in charge of keeping roads safe in the States have been like, oh no, we found this issue, you need to issue a recall for that.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
And
you eventually would have a bunch of bodies if you didn't.
And then because in the UK, because Cybertruck has never been evaluated for safety, but they got a 5-star safety rating because they just said, hey, we super duper promise it's a super safe vehicle. And the organization that gives out the safety ratings were like, okay. National Highway Safety Traffic Association, NHSTA. I was close. But yeah, but that's actually why you won't find Cybertrucks in, I don't know about all of Europe, but I know in the UK they're illegal because they can't pass the UK safety regulations. There was actually a guy who like shipped a Cybertruck to the UK and then it got confiscated because it's not street legal there.
Yeah, I was going to say, imagine being the person who ships your vehicle over and then realizing, oh shit, my little dick mobile doesn't actually work over here.
Yeah.
Oh, well, God fucking why?
And then Dark Falcon for $5 says, it's funny, at work I saw a Tesla with a sign under the license plate that said, I bought this before we knew Elon was crazy. Yep. Those bumper stickers are pretty popular right about now. Because a lot of Teslas are getting vandalized, which is not an activity that I explicitly endorse. And like, yeah,
but it is very funny.
It is funny. But like, I get it. Like a lot of people that bought Teslas, they are either unaware of what's going on politically, or they bought it before Elon was so publicly an idiot. Yeah, no, especially the Cybertruck. I have a hard time justifying not vandalizing a Cybertruck, which like the other Teslas, it's like it's just a car, man. Like, yeah, it's a car that's run by a Nazi thing, but like realistically, are the CEOs of the other companies better, or are they just better at flying under the radar?
So I would say whether or not they are, I'm still perfectly okay with accepting that in Fortnite, because this is a thing that actually happened in Fortnite, when the Cybertruck came to Fortnite, the common practice amongst all players was to immediately kill whoever happened to be in a Cybertruck and hunt them down relentlessly. The minute you saw one, whatever fights you were in stopped, and it became about killing the Cybertruck user.
Yeah, so I told one of my kids about that who plays Fortnite. He's like, I didn't tell him about it out of nowhere. He just came to me and was like, hey, did you hear that there's Cybertrucks in Fortnite now? I think I want to drive one. I was like, okay, you can try that. It might make the game a lot harder for you. He's like, why would it do that? It's like, well...
Yeah, there's this thing that players are doing.
A lot of people hunt down people. He's like, oh, okay. Okay, I guess I'll shoot anyone who's in a Cybertruck. Like, there you go. That's my boy.
That's what you do. That's perfect.
Jeb Debbie for $4.99 says, I work at a foundry that uses bismuth and nickel, and Trump's tariffs are actually screwing us over. Bismuth is like the coolest metal ever. Not the coolest metal ever, but it's up there. I love bismuth.
It looks fucking cool.
I love bismuth.
It's kind of radioactive, but it looks cool.
Is it radioactive?
Believe that there was something about it being dangerous for something. Hold on.
It's an ingredient in Pepto-Bismol. It is the active ingredient in Pepto-Bismol. It's the biz from Bismol.
Oh, yeah, no. Bismuth 209, the naturally occurring isotope of bismuth, is radioactive. Slightly radioactive, but it is radioactive.
Okay, but like, how radioactive compared to a banana?
Let's see here.
We need a banana for scale.
Okay, the radioactivity of bismuth is weaker than the radioactivity of a banana.
There you go. Okay.
Yep. Because I remember, so I'm not sure if you ever watched Steven Universe when that was on air.
No, I'm aware of it. But...
Okay, so there's a character in Steven Universe who's based off of
Tasha. Let's get down to bismuth.
There's a character in Steven Universe named Bismuth who is made of bismuth, because a lot of the characters are made of rocks from around that world. And when she was introduced, basically everybody knew that this character was going to go on a tirade at some point, because the one thing that everybody knew about bismuth was that it was radioactive, and the one thing about Steven Universe is they try to make the character personalities link up with whatever material they are to at least some degree.
So she was really beautiful and easy to get hot. Easy to melt.
She was a blacksmith, actually. She was a blacksmith, and her temper flared very, very quickly.
I wouldn't think that bismuth would be a metal that you would want to use in smithing.
But I think they made her a smith because of how easy it is to get bismuth hot. Yeah, basically everybody knew, this character is going to be a problem. They seem very fine right now. They're going to be a problem in a minute because they are bismuth, and this is what this show does.
Okay, sure. Why not? And yeah, okay, Sean Helfin is saying that bismuth was a hot character too, so...
I mean, not my kind of hot, but if she was your kind of hot, sure.
Everyone is someone's kind of hot.
It's true.
Oh, did you see there was a meeting of like the G7 nations or something? I forget. I'm not sure exactly what the meeting was, but there was a meeting in France of like a bunch of leaders of a bunch of influential countries, and the United States was not invited.
It was NATO.
Was it NATO?
Yeah,
okay.
it was a NATO meeting that did not include the United States.
That actually
was a red flag.
That makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah, that was much.
Yeah, it was like the rest of the world is like, we can't trust the states now.
So I have a friend of mine who has been in Germany for the last few months, and there was a Ukrainian refugee who, had went over to Germany, because most of them have gone like Poland, Germany, most of the surrounding areas if they can. And this refugee was on the bus with them, and they got in conversation. And when my friend mentioned that they were American. Let me see if I'm going to find the exact words that were used so I do not misrepresent this, because this was told to me today. And let's see here. The exact words were, "You have no idea how humiliating and embarrassing it is to have a conversation with and then have to admit to a Ukrainian refugee that you are an American until it happens to you. Hint, we are not the good guys anymore."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, this
And
is...
said, update, I spoke to a Ukrainian work colleague about it, and she said I probably shouldn't mention I'm American at all, maybe even change my accent if I can. Like, it is over on that side of the world, we are seen as persona non grata right now.
I mean, over here too, kinda.
Yeah.
I mean, like, all our politicians are very much emphasizing how much we love the American people, and we recognize that the American people have not given Donald Trump this supposed mandate. And like, yeah, I agree with that. I'm not gonna discriminate against the American people, but at the same time, American military is made up of American people, and I'm living in a country right now where, like, that is a thing that we are mentally preparing for, is dealing with the American military.
Yep. Gemini Star says Poland, Catholic conservative Poland. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to take the atheist skeptic hat off for just a moment. And remember that an active war zone is worse than a place that just happens to be Catholic. And Poland very quickly took in refugees from Ukraine.
Also, if I recall correctly from a video I did, not recently, but like recently-ish, Poland, it's they're so dominantly Catholic, but it's one of those things where, like, if you're born into a Catholic family, you're recorded in the census as being Catholic, and unless you go to great lengths to remove yourself from that category, they just assume that you stayed that. And
Basically.
so it's majority Catholic in the sense that, yeah, that's what the census says, but it's mostly that people haven't bothered to change categories.
There's also a decent bit of homophobia over there. I have friends over there, and I don't want to go into more detail from that.
I have Bible Flockbox over there, and I respond to him occasionally. He's not Catholic, but he is Polish. Are you familiar with Bible Flockbox?
I am familiar from years ago. Hold on.
Oh, he's gone full. Basically, he is indistinguishable from an AI generated "the end is nigh" Christian channel at this point.
It's a Bible Flockbox.
Yeah, he's changed his name to like
Incredible Revelations.
That's
I
the
think
one. Incredible Bible Revelation, something like that.
Oh man, can I just do videos making fun of him? Is that a thing I can do now?
Absolutely.
Hell yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, he's not my cup of tea anymore. I had to go back a couple years to find something to respond to in his catalog. But yeah, generally for me, he does fairly well, algorithmically speaking.
Well, I already have one video that is doing that right now, and it's definitely going to be going into audiences that were not the target audience very soon. It already kind of has.
Yeah. I mean, if push comes to shove, you could always disable comments. I know that'll get people on the other side being like, oh, he's such a coward disabling comments, but like, no, you don't owe your platform to anyone else.
I'm not super
it's fine in the right.
I'm not super concerned about the comments. So the biggest thing I ever had happen negative to me while doing political content was when I went to canvas for Jamal Bowman, and that picture of me and the other content creators went on Twitter. That got like 1.5 million views before I turned off my ability to view that post, because there's only so many times people can call you a pedophile before you just get a little numb to it. So in terms of scale, I seriously doubt this will hit those numbers where I'm dealing with that level of vitriol. So I've already dealt with worse before. My main concern is, did I do a good enough job when this goes to those people who 100% will try to disagree? Did I do a good enough job to at least plant the seeds in their head that maybe America's not the great nation that they thought it was?
Hopefully.
I would hope so. I would hope so. I've most of the negative comments, aside
Ulo?
from people being very anti-trans, have been, why would you have this done through a cartoon avatar? And at that point, I'm just like,
So
I
Lady
don't
Merlin's
care.
saying, "Can I just flee to Canada without a passport? I'm trans and can't get a passport because of my amended birth certificate." I don't know what the status is right now of us taking refugees from the States, but I feel like we should be. Like I feel like, especially in certain states, people that are trans or in one of the other letters of the LGBTQ, or like hell, it's even getting to the point where I might say the same thing to people who are not white. It's like, yeah, no, the time to get out is while you still can.
yeah, right now. Wait, actually, hold on, Lady Merlin, have you tried getting your passport yet? I understand the difference in birth certificate thing, but have you gone through the process to try to get yours?
Yeah, because
Or
my understanding is the recent rules are just that the passport has to match the birth certificate. So if your birth certificate has been amended, in theory, that should be okay. Now, that being said, I have been hearing things about trans people that were abroad when these changes went into effect being stranded abroad because now their passport doesn't match their birth certificate. So the American border guards are like, nope, you can't come back here. So like, if you can get your passport and you leave the country, just be prepared for the fact that you might not be able to come back.
Lady Merlin says no, and I'm afraid of my documents being confiscated. So your documents being confiscated doesn't mean anything. Those documents, you pay like $35 and you get those documents mailed to you again from whatever registry you had to make. Because I had to mail my birth certificate out to get passport for me and Saki. You can just order those documents again. The only document that leaves your hand is your birth certificate. If it gets confiscated, it's not any new information. It's shit that they already had.
You can even, like, if you are worried about that, you could grab another copy of your birth certificate before you send it out. Like, I actually,
just in case.
Well, I mean, I assume that the American system works somewhat similar to the Canadian system for that, because like I accidentally got 2 copies of one of my kids' birth certificates when we were doing passport stuff this past year, just because like I ordered it at one point and my partner was like, oh, I don't think he did that yet. So she ordered it and now we have 2 copies.
Lady Marilyn says, I have to wait 9 months for a new birth certificate. Is it because it's in the process of being amended, or is that like a specific thing with your state? Because 1 second.
You can get that special ID thing to get into Canada. You don't need a passport. Are you talking about Nexus? Or like I don't. I know we used to have. We would allow. On the Canadian side, we could get an enhanced driver's license that would be good for crossing the border. I don't think that's a thing anymore. I think you do need either a passport or a Nexus card. And
So
to get Nexus, I think you do have to have a passport. No, you can get Nexus without a passport, but it's like the same process pretty much.
There's 2 kinds of passports you can get from the United States to get you into Canada. You can get a global passport, which is what me and Saki got. The global passport costs a lot more money. It's the passport book, the one that you see in every movie. Or you can get a passport card. The card is only like $30, but the card does not work for flying travel. It only works for ground travel, and it basically only gets you to Canada.
I think that's Nexus that you're talking about, and it can work for flying travel, but you have to do a retina scan to do it.
So the one that, on the website that I got mine from, and I could be wrong, but on the website that I was looking at for the 2, it specifically said does not cover flight travel. But again, I could be wrong. I'm not an expert here. I've just gone through the process, but that does not give me expertise.
U.S. passport cards are a different thing. Okay. Look into Nexus. It's meant for people who cross the border regularly, but I don't think I needed a passport to get Nexus. I think it is easier to get if you do have a passport, but...
Undead Rodnart says, where did I get this card? It's the identical process to applying for a passport. If you don't know how to apply for a passport, then the easiest way to do it, aside from figuring shit out online, is to go to the courthouse that is local to you and ask whoever's at the front desk, hey, where's the passport office? I want to go on I'm planning a vacation. That gives you your, if you're terrified about the why and what if they ask me questions, you've just solved that problem right there. They're not going to ask you questions. They don't care. But I know how anxiety is. It's best to have that plan there just so that you don't feel like you need it.
I'm going to Blue Mountain. It's a ski resort, but they do stuff out of season as well, since skiing season is pretty much over. It's actually beautiful up there, so there is plenty to do up in that area in the summertime as well. So you can just say, I'm going to Blue Mountain in Ontario.
Jeff Keith, thank you for resubscribing. Lady Merlin says Washington State has a 9-month turnaround for birth certificates. Then the best thing I can say is order a birth certificate now, because you already know that there's going to be a long turnaround. There's no reason not to just have that process going in the background in case it's needed. Just in case it's needed.
He really wants to annex Canada, and he is going to get shot. I don't know from which side, though. Yeah, so I'm explicitly not advocating for anything here, but my partner did say earlier tonight, I'm going to sit on the couch and doom plan, and my mental health will recover when somebody assassinates him. So I'm not saying anything. I'm not advocating for anything. But like, mental health would improve in certain scenarios.
It is good to acknowledge when somebody is playing with fire. And as of right now, our president is playing with fire, both with his own life and with the lives of the American people.
From the Two Towers, who is running towards the culvert at Helm's Deep with his torch, like the fucking Olympic runner. And we just need a Legolas. A little bit sooner than Legolas in the movie got there.
Everything was fine at the end of the movie. Nobody died.
Nobody died. Except for all the unnamed characters who died.
Yeah, but they were unnamed. They didn't matter. Well, and I guess
speaking of the skiing season being over, though, going back to my Blue Mountain comment. So this is my microphone that if you follow me on Blue Sky, you know I dropped this into 20 Mile Creek, which this Friday is a Matt Powell video. I'm responding to Matt Powell, and he brought up the Paluxy River footprints, and so I was like, oh, I could like do a Dan Olsen thing, and I will like kind of parody the Man Tracks video that he put out, and because that's an amazing video. It's way better than anything I could do. And I'm like, okay, well, you know what? Balls Falls Conservation Area has what is usually a dry creek bed that looks similar enough that I could go there and do like a similar thing and it would be funny.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fucking springtime, so the snow melt runoff thing was going, and it is like, I have never seen that much water in this stream bed. It was like a full-on raging river. I still did it, but it's less funny because I'm not actually like in a stream bed looking like Dan Olsen or whatever. But while I was there, I dropped this microphone into the river, and I'm going to do this live on stream. We're going to turn it on and see if it still works. So I'm going to hold the power button. And
let's see.
If I see lights, I'm not seeing lights.
Oh, that's not good.
I think it's dead.
That would not be surprising.
No, well, I mean, it was in there for a while. It's like, I dropped it. I realized I dropped it and was like, fuck. How long ago was that? That was Thursday. Last Thursday I was filming, so almost a week.
Wait, did you not like drop it into rice afterwards just to be sure?
No, rice doesn't do shit. That's a myth.
Yeah. It's worked for me.
But no, these things are supposedly a little bit water resistant, but you're not supposed to submerge them. Mm-hmm. And it was submerged for probably a good 15 minutes or so. Long enough that it turned itself off long before the battery was dead. So like, I was pretty sure something fried.
That sounds like that was enough information to know it's fucked.
Yeah, no, I figured. But it's one of those situations where it's like, oh, if I wait like a week and then push the power button, maybe it'll work. But so this is the microphone that I did not douse in soy milk. So now the only one that I have that still works is the one that I accidentally doused in soy milk.
Fair enough, I suppose.
And I know that because the buttons on it are still kind of sticky. Like, I gave it a good cleaning. I cleaned it as well as I could, but it's still like you push the button in and it stays in for just a little bit longer than it should.
That's kind of gross, actually. That feels like that is just,
I haven't used that one since I doused it in soy milk, and there's a reason for that.
that's just evoking images in my head of going to your friend's house to play video games.
And the controller's all sticky.
And the controllers, you're just like, dude, what the fuck did you do to this thing? I want to play games, not with whatever this is that I am in this story too young to understand. No.
Yeah. So yeah, this is, I don't know. It makes me sad because like these were not cheap microphones. They weren't the most expensive, but it's like I went to fucking Falls as a bit that I didn't need to do that. I dropped my fucking expensive microphone in the fucking creek, and now it's dead, so that I could make a joke that isn't even all that funny.
You had to do it, though.
Had to do it.
You had to do it. If you need to be safe from that stuff, you'll need a good lawyer. You might even need a great lawyer.
Oh my god.
Something about the Legal team.
Yeah, I was just thinking that, like, I've been watching Legal Eagle, so I'm like, my next and you know what? I fucking hate ground news at this point. Like, yeah, no, their ads, and I know this as someone who has received money from them, who has been paid to advertise them, as someone who actually uses their fucking service.
Yeah?
I fucking hate the ads. Because one of the requirements that they have is that you have to try and integrate it into the video as if it is a part of the video. You're not allowed to just be like, and now a word from our sponsor. You have to flow into the ad as though it's still part of the video. And so now and they're so prolific now among all these different creators that, like, I'm watching videos on like legal stuff that's happening and or news stuff that's happening and like current event stuff. And I'm just like, anytime somebody starts to talk about how difficult it is to parse anything out, I'm just now like, oh no, here comes the ground news ad. Oh my god, no, fuck. And 9 times out of 10, it's not even an ad. It's just, I'm now so primed for it. And that's probably what they're going for, because now you know their fucking name.
Yeah.
And oh my god.
If it's not ground news for me, it's probably ground news for you.
Yeah, I fucking hate it. I hate it. And like, I hated that requirement. That's one of the reasons I don't have a spot with them anymore, is because they're just, the requirements that like the hoops that they make you jump through to get the money from them is just like, no, I don't want to do it. I like, if I'm reading an ad, I want it to be clear that this is an ad. I don't want to deceive my audience into watching an ad. Like, I want to be upfront about that. Like, I get that some people are going to skip. Most people are going to skip it. I skip it when other YouTubers do it.
And that is why you need to be able to know what's going on both sides. Because after all, after this crash out from Rhino was reported on CNN, it was treated this way. But Fox News said that he looked kind of like a soy boy cock.
Yeah, so to get both sides of the story, go to Ground fucking News. And here's the thing. They sponsored me when they were brand new. Nobody had heard of them. Nobody knew what they were doing. I was one of their first fucking content creators that they sponsored. Like, I think there was only one before me. I was the second one.
Yeah.
And now they're all over the fucking place, and I'm kind of proud of that. And it's like, yeah, I played a little tiny role in that. But at the same time, it's just like, no, don't be fucking douchebags about it, you assholes.
I can understand that. They haven't reached out to me, so.
They're also a Canadian company. Like, their offices are literally like an hour and a half drive from my house. So,
fair. So just go over to their office and be like, "You motherfuckers, listen to me now."
What's hilarious about this though is that like Paul of Paulogia, he got a sponsorship from them, but like he's so good at it that he was able to kind of dick them around and be like,
oh,
because like he the first sponsorship he did with them, he basically made the whole video about it, but like he did it in a way that was actually like it matched his normal style, and it was fine and it was great. Like it was still a good video, but basically the whole video was a Ground News ad, and they still tried to like make him do different things or whatever, and he basically shot back to them and was like, okay, look at the performance from my first ad with you, just let me do my thing.
I know what I'm doing.
And then they were like, okay, I suppose.
Fair. That is, I guess, even if even Paulogia is dealing with that level of bullshit.
Yeah, no, but
then I can understand
he actually fought back. I'm just impatient. So like I don't have the capacity to deal with that shit. So I'm just like, no, fuck you. I'm just like, I'll finish my contract and then I'm done.
To be fair, he's also a little more used to moving around a professional media environment with all of the different hoops you have to jump through in order to make everybody happy in that environment.
Yeah.
Like that's his
background.
Yeah, that is very much within his area of expertise. So I can understand him, not to take away from the ability and accomplishment, but I can understand him having that skill set as just something he can just grab immediately and go, all right, no, this is how it's going to work.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the skill set I just don't have. I'm the reason I'm self-employed is because I'm a dick that nobody can work with.
I mean, you and me both.
My Surfshark sponsorship is so long running because they just let me do my own thing for the most part.
That's the same reason that I have a thing with DDLG Playground. It was quite literally, as long as I am not a disparaging asshole towards them, I can do my thing.
That's the thing, is because Surfshark is a VPN, and VPN companies are notorious for like, you know, people who use VPNs up until fairly recently have been kind of sketchy people in general. So the VPNs have kind of embraced that and been like, yeah, no, you can advertise kind of sketchily with us. I mean, like my last ad was a bit of a debacle. I don't know who to blame for this. I don't know if it was my rep or if it was Surfshark the company, or like I don't know what happened, but something happened where they were not like the first time in like 7 years my Friday video was late. It was only late by a few hours, but it was late. And it was because Surfshark had not approved the ad yet. Now, what normally happens is I send the ad for approval, and then they send me back feedback. Like they either give me feedback, and it's very specific. Like at this timestamp, you use the wrong asset, so use this asset instead. Sure, fine, I'll do that. And it was the same thing here, but this time, like normally they just say make these changes, and then you're good, and they don't need to review it a second time. But this time they were like, okay, make these changes and then send me the link again and we'll review it again. But they didn't review it on time. And so I was actually, and my rep had just changed like in the past month. Like my normal rep, like it's someone who doesn't work for Surfshark. They work for some marketing company that Surfshark hires to find YouTubers to advertise with. I don't exactly know how that end of it works. So I don't know whether this was a fuck up on the rep's end or on Surfshark's end, but like it wasn't approved on time. And so I actually had to, like, I was emailing him on Friday morning and be like, hey, this is the first time my video has been late in years because you guys haven't approved the ad yet. Like, can I just publish already? And they were like, okay, well, no, just cut the ad out and then publish, and then we will approve the ad for the next one. Like, fine, whatever. But like, that's the biggest hiccup I've ever had with Surfshark. And I forget why I was even bringing that up, but
because of the Ground News stuff.
Yeah.
We were talking about Ground News advertisements because as we were talking about Musk being sued for or Musk being sued because of him suing multiple people or one person multiple times, I jokingly went into a Legal Eagle ad read.
Oh, right. And then that set me off because ads
because of the Ground News ad read, because you saw Ground News while watching Legal Eagle.
That's the thing is like, okay, I can't. The reason Surfshark is the one that I work with the most often. Like there are others that like if they came back to me, I'd say yes, but like I'm just not good at promoting things, even if you pay me for it. Like it like even though like Surfshark is a product that I use it personally, and when I say that the Clean Web 2.0 thing is what I consider to be the main feature, not the VPN, that is true. I use the VPN when I'm connected to public Wi-Fi. Most of the time, I don't use it. But I use the Clean Web thing all the damn time. So, like, that's the joke that I make is that, like, I think Clean Web 2.0 is their main feature, but they seem to think it's a VPN. And so that works for me. But, like, other companies of stuff that, like I don't take ads from companies that are selling things that I would not use.
Mm-hmm.
It's like established titles. When I did that, I actually did purchase a plot of land or whatever, and then it turned out to be kind of scammy. I would say it wasn't actually a scam, but it was close enough to being a scam that like I actually pulled the ad out of that video.
It's close enough to make you feel skeezy.
Yeah. So I pulled the ad out of the video. That was actually the thing that made me hire someone to vet the companies for me. It was like, okay, I can't like, you know, depending on how many offers you get, but like I get regular offers that I turn down specifically because it's either not a product that I would use or just because like even if it is a product that I would use, it just feels wrong to be saying these things about like they want me to say things about their product that are not actually true. Like they're embellishing. And so like even for the VPN, I don't focus on like oh, it encrypts your data so you're secure from everything. Like yeah, I do mention that like yeah, your ISP can't snoop on you when you're using a VPN, but like that's not the main reason to use a VPN. The main reason to use a VPN is so you can get like libraries from other countries.
Yeah, most people who are using a VPN to block their search history
it's for downloading. It's for pirating movies, for the most part.
Yeah,
you pirate. If you're connected to a VPN when you pirate movies, you're not going to get that letter from your ISP saying stop pirating movies, otherwise we'll cut you off. Like,
yeah,
that's the main thing.
Which none of us have gotten before.
I've gotten that before. No, I mean I've never pirated movies. What are you talking about?
I have both never pirated a movie and also never gotten that letter.
Yeah. So yeah, I try to avoid the security features of VPN because it's not really that important for VPN wise. It's more about like, hey, Pornhub is blocked in this state, so connect to a VPN from another state, and now you have Pornhub again.
Which, you know, I had not even thought about that. I knew that was a thing that was happening, but it didn't occur to me until I did a trip to Tennessee and I tried going on Pornhub. And Tennessee is one of the states where it just says, hey, by the way, you need to talk to your representative.
Is that the video from Cherry DeVille?
Huh?
Cherry DeVille is the name of the porn star who did that video for Pornhub.
I haven't seen the video. I just clicked.
Okay.
So I
they
don't
might have
watch
changed
that.
it since I did that ad, but
I didn't even know there was a video there. I read it because it was there on my phone.
On your phone. My God, are you one of those people that watches porn on your phone? I don't get that. I want the big screen, man.
It's a screen.
Give me the big screen. I want to see everything on the big HD.
I mean, I definitely use the big screen I definitely use the big screen when I'm at home, but I wasn't at home. Like, and I didn't want to just go, all right, let me turn on my phone. Let me turn on my hotspot. Let me turn on my laptop. Let me go through all this shit when I just open up the phone. I am a kid who grew up on a Game Boy, okay? I can handle a small screen.
Okay. That's, I don't know. That's, maybe for me, it's weird. Like, for me, it's actually kind of a focus thing. I don't know if this is an ADHD thing, but like the post-nut clarity helps me write my scripts. So like
It helped.
there have been times when I'm like struggling to write a script and I'm like just not feeling it. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna have a quick wank, and now I can write my script.
I have a similar issue
But,
when
like,
I'm getting ready to do my YouTube videos about magic.
So I'm here
Almost
with
always
my
post-wank.
it's not 4K. I think it's 2K. I don't know. My monitors are high resolution or whatever, so I'm like, I wouldn't dream of watching porn on my phone. It's so small. my so Heidi actually I've advocated for this in the past, so I'm not sure why it was a surprise to her, but like I follow, there's only one person that I have actually like kept a subscription to on OnlyFans, like recurring. Most of the time it'll be like the way I decide whether or not to like support someone on OnlyFans is like, hey, I have noticed you in multiple videos that I have finished too. So like you have helped me out a little bit. The least I can do is subscribe to your OnlyFans for like a month or two.
Mhm.
And so that's what I'll do or whatever. So when she found out that there's actually one person that the reason I keep her subscription active on OnlyFans is because the common thing is like you subscribe on OnlyFans, so we'll give you these little snippets, but then if you tip me, you get the better video.
Yeah.
And so this person doesn't do that. She's just like, no, for $12 a month, you just get everything. And so I'm like, okay, I respect that. So I will keep your subscription active and on auto renew. And when my partner found out about that, she thought it was hilarious. She was like, I didn't know that you did that. I didn't know you had like OnlyFans subscriptions other than me, which she has a foot thing on OnlyFans. So if you're into feet, I probably shouldn't be promoting this from my YouTube because she's also a therapist and that might cause issues. But Lilith CEA in the second one is her OnlyFans.
I don't have a subscription to my girlfriend's OnlyFans because she doesn't have a subscription model.
So if you're into feet, Lilith C on OnlyFans is what you look for there. 'Cause apparently she has really nice feet, but I'm not into feet, so I don't know. That's the funny thing about it. Like being on the back end of this is just like neither of us are into feet. We just know that some people are. So we're both like, oh, those are kind of gross, but some people tell me they like those pictures. Okay.
Some people are weird.
Yeah.
Some people are weird. I have had...
No, most people are weird because apparently... Oh, I forget what it is, but there's like the brain area that is related. Like there's something related to feet in the brain that is like really, really close to the sex area of the brain.
Okay.
And so like there's like this minor little tweak that can happen in the brain that will like make those two regions react to the same things or whatever. So that's why foot fetishes are so common. I'm not explaining this properly, but
yes, the synapse in one fires and suddenly
I know what you're talking about. I cannot remember what it's called. Yeah, me too, man.
Look, I have had the experience of being on my girlfriend's OnlyFans and definitely yanking it to her videos on OnlyFans and having her walk through the door, watching and just stare at me, looking at her.
That's the thing, like, so because
just going like,
because she has a foot page on OnlyFans, we have had a conversation where it's like, hey, at some point you might have to give me a foot job for your OnlyFans, like if this actually gets to be lucrative. And we're both like, oh, neither of us are into that. That's gonna be a weird thing to do. Like, but yeah, I think we could do it. Hey, as long as it feels good, I'm happy to do it. This ace person is completely tuning out of the sex convo. So here's the thing. I'm pan. So I'm straight leaning pansexual. I'm attracted to the female form and typical femininity. But like my overall perspective is basically if somebody's touching my penis, it feels nice. So I don't care who's doing it.
Rhino says $20 is $20.
Yeah, basically.
Sylvie Snow says femboys, goddamn it.
That's the thing. Like I like if it feels good, I don't care what like, I don't have to be attracted to you in order for you to make me feel good. Like, touching my dick feels good no matter what you look like or what I'm attracted to or whatever. But that is kind of at odds with, I'm kind of germophobic. So like feet to me are disgusting because they are the things that are touching the floor, that everything, like all the germs are on the floor. So like, why would you want the feet? And apparently people that are into foot fetishes actually like dirty feet.
See, that's the one I can't get.
Yeah,
that's like, the one I can't even fathom. Like I can get the feet thing and have done feet things before. I can understand it. I can get it. I have tried. But if there is no part of your fucking body that should be pressed up against another person unless you are both clean. I'm sorry. No. Mm-hmm. Absolutely fucking not.
Fresh out of the shower. Like, how did we get to feet anyway? It started with talking about Pornhub and VPNs and sponsors on YouTube.
Shay Wade says, I'm not a fan of sex in my porn. I know I'm the odd one out here. Look, I'm Demi. So porn gets a little weird to me because I have to have a bit of establishing so my brain can go, oh, there is some synaptic connection with this person on screen who 100% is faking everything they're doing. So oftentimes I'll end up just reading doujins instead because there is an establishing story and characters and all of that shit that my brain literally needs.
I just sent a link to my partner's OnlyFans, so if you want to see her feet, go for it. We're not exclusive enough that I'm going to get upset at you wanking it to her feet.
Oh, I have something to send to your WhatsApp. It is.
I almost don't want to know. If this conversation led to that, I'm not sure I want to know.
So, okay. So the video that I released today is about how there is an act of genocide in the United States towards trans people. Mm-hmm. And I backed up every single step with as best as I could and got to the point where I said, hey, step 9 is the elimination of people. The last time I talked about this, I said we weren't on step 9, but then the Trevor Project released a study that showed that there was a 72% increase in trans suicides that was causative with trans legislation, anti-trans legislation that was coming out. So I said, hey, if you were a person who wanted to do what Nazi Germany did, but you wanted to learn the number one lesson you could have learned from Nazi Germany to do it better, you would make the genocide invisible. That's how you would do it. And how do you make a genocide
making it invisible when Texas is literally legislating trans people out of existence?
So I used that bit of legislation for a couple of the points, for polarization and stuff like that, dehumanization. But
if Twitch goes down, it's because apparently Twitch gets upset about OnlyFans links, and I did just send the link to both chats.
But with in regards
John
to
C.,
that,
I agree.
In regards to that, when it comes to words like genocide, like Nazi, like stuff, I try to be as thorough as I possibly can when using that word to describe something, to give every possible reason why that would. That legislation existing is not enough for me to go to step 9. That legislation existing is not enough, but the actual body count that has increased is enough for me to say step 9 is in the process. So, that preamble out of the way, this is a response to that video. And I did not reply to this person, but I almost hit the reply button and my better judgment took over. And there's a reason I'm sending it in private. and not anywhere else.
Fennec is asking, can I delete the message if needed? I feel like you won't know if it's needed to be deleted until the stream goes down, so don't worry about it. It's fine.
Context for everybody in the chat, the person responded to the video going, there isn't, and if there was, I don't give a fuck.
Oh, fuck them.
And my comment that I did not hit was, then die, I guess.
Yeah.
But I did not hit that reply because I'm a better person.
My fez matches my jumper. My jumper says, My favorite child gave me this. Oh no, it doesn't say what it is. It just says my favorite child gave me this. I don't remember which child gave me this, so they're all my favorite. Anyway, we should probably move on to our third news item. It
Probably.
is 10 o'clock when originally this show was supposed to end.
Look, we started talking about all kinds of stuff outside of the show, and you know what? I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah, Piper, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for this one, Piper.
Oh, I'm just not sending this one to Cherry. I'm just not doing that. I'm just not putting Cherry through this one. I'm just gonna be like, hey, there was a tweets section, and that's all we got to with Rhino. That's all we did. Don't worry.
Oh, so I've kind of stopped doing it recently, but when I first hired Piper, there were a few times where it's like, I talk about my personal sex life in this one. If you don't want to, if you're not comfortable with that, it's fine. I'll edit it. You don't need to. It's good. You just tell me if you're ever uncomfortable with anything, because like I'm just so aware of like I don't want to be canceled for like, hey, this person that's on my payroll has to listen to me talk about sex.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, so that's a standing thing, Piper. If I ever make you uncomfortable, you let me know right away, and I will take that shit off your plate. Because like, I don't ever want to make someone uncomfortable with my sex. Like, regular viewers, I get it. If I make you uncomfortable, you just click off the video. It's fine. But someone that I'm paying to edit this stuff, it's like, that's a bit yikesy if I'm making you uncomfortable by my talking about this. And now you still have to edit it anyway. So, like, I've regularly done stuff like, nah, if you're uncomfortable, don't do it. And they've always been fine with it, but it's like, I just want to make sure everybody knows, like, Piper in particular, if you are ever uncomfortable with something that I send to you, you just tell me. Be like, no, I'm not doing this one, and it's good. I will never retaliate for like, hey, you talked about your personal sex life and that made me feel icky. Anyway, back to news items.
How the fuck is the video talking about genocide at 35,000 views? It was at 25,000 when I sent that message to you.
Fuck. Okay, so the reason I'm doing Matt Powell this Friday is because Matt Powell is good for the algorithm.
Wait, hold
videos.
on. He's gay now?
Yes, with me.
Cool.
We had sex. Me and Matt Powell had sex.
That was the exact moment I hit the record button. Huh. That was perfect timing. If this is the salvageable video
so I can put it on my soundboard.
If this is the salvageable video that I wouldn't feel bad sending to Cherry, then that is a perfect meme to keep forever. Anyway,
you know what? I'm pansexual. I would have sex with Matt Powell if he agreed to stop being a creationist. Matt, if you want me to suck your dick, you know what you got to do. Just stop being a creationist.
This is what you got to do to get Rhino's mouth pussy.
I will do it. I will do it, Matt. That's not a joke. Anyway, what the fuck were we saying?
I don't know anymore. It has nothing to do with the boy heroes and military first things.
Right, so I have a Matt Powell video coming out this Friday, and the reason it's Matt Powell is because he's good for the algorithm, and I've been not doing great in the algorithm right now. Now, to be fair, this is a bad time of year for my YouTube in general. Like, February to June just kind of sucks normally. So it's not anything outside of the ordinary, but like, I'm kind of playing around with like, okay, well, people usually watch when I respond to these people, so I'm going to respond to these people in the slump period.
See if you can get it.
Yeah. And I also do stuff like drop my fucking microphone in the river while I'm looking for a dry riverbed that isn't dry this time of year, because what the fuck? I didn't Google it before going there, apparently.
Hey, everybody makes mistakes, okay? My parents, they made me.
Fair enough. So Heidi has she's been buying a lot of potted plants, and just as a joke, and we would never say this in front of the children, but she does refer to the plants as the kids that she actually loves.
Okay.
Our kids have been nasty little shits recently.
You little shit.
They have been nasty little shits recently.
I've been watching a lot of
They're kids. It's nothing outside of the ordinary, but like, we're parents. Occasionally we need to joke about our kids being nasty little shits. So
I've been watching a lot of Dungeon Soup, so all I hear whenever you say that is little shit. Yep. Let's see here. Fragwitz says, please never turn fascist, Cirrus. I hope I never go down that route. I am hoping that is a thing that never happens to me.
I think both of us are more at risk for being arrested and sent to a concentration camp for being anti-fascist.
Very likely.
Anything. Like we have definitely skirted the line of stochastic terrorism against fascism.
A couple of times, at the very least.
A couple of times. Yeah. No. What's hilarious though is I don't know why, but YouTube kind of trusts my self-report for monetization stuff.
Okay.
So like I can, like, whereas other channels will like be like, oh no, don't mention vaccines because like the very mention of vaccines could get us demonetized. I'm just like, nah, I just tell them that like, yeah, I talked about disinformation and it's fine. Like, I mean, our streams regularly get demonetized, but the little chunks of the streams are always like fully monetized, and it's weird to me. It's just fucking weird.
I mean, the same shit happens with mine. Though, to be fair, Cherry handles my uploading now, so I'm not 100% certain if we struggle too terribly much. The only thing that I've had happen recently was Disney blocking a video of mine in basically every country.
Disney will do that when they can. What did you use some of their content?
So I was looking at their old World War II propaganda, and a lot of that stuff is supposed to make it into the public sphere in a few years, unless Disney fights for it. But they didn't do that with Steamboat Willie finally, so who knows? But it was close enough to the time that it is still considered theirs, so they hit me for it.
Well, I mean, speaking of Steamboat Willie, I what movie was it that I watched recently? Oh, God damn it. It was one of those old black and white. Oh yeah, the Charlie Chaplin, the Great Dictator. I think that's in the public domain. You can watch it for free on YouTube. I don't know if it's legal or not, but it's fine. And it struck me as like being too on the nose for the relationship between Musk and Trump. Because there's a whole sequence where someone resubscribed. Duct Tape Jake resubscribed 10 months. Thank you, Duct Tape Jake. There's a whole sequence where like clearly there's the Hitler analog and there's the Mussolini analog. And when the Mussolini analog shows up, it becomes very much a commentary on the Hitler and Musk dynamic, which is amazing because it was written before. Oh, sorry. Did I say Hitler and Musk? I meant Trump.
You said
and Musk.
Hitler and Musk.
Whoopsies.
Oh, man, that reminds me. So somebody in my comment section they went on a tirade saying that Nazis aren't fascists because all fascists hate Nazis. And all Nazis hate fascists. And I'm just works. Like, what?
Yeah, so The Great Dictator, I finally watched the whole thing. As a movie, I don't think it's great. In past streams, I've said how I don't understand how that speech that he gives, like the famous speech that Charlie Chaplin gives, I don't see how that could come out of a comedy movie. And it does just kind of come just out of left field. Nobody, like, there's no setup for that actually makes it make sense. I've
never seen it, so I actually don't have context.
It is good. I mean, it's Charlie Chaplin. You like the character that gives the speech at the end has almost no spoken lines throughout the rest of the movie. it just comes out of nowhere. Like, it is not established that he's actually good with words. It's kind like the opposite is kind of established because everybody's talking over him all the time. But it does, like, the dictator in that movie and his relation to the Mussolini character does very much resemble the Musk-Trump dynamic, and it's fucking hilarious. Just like, it's hilarious in the sense of how much it represents what's going on in modern politics, but it was written in the 1940s. Although also I think Tolkien might have stolen from it, because there were a lot of things that, like, as he was doing that, I was like, hey, that's the thing that I remember from Lord of the Rings. Like, oh, this came out well before that showed up in Lord of the Rings. Okay.
Spooky.
So Tolkien might have been influenced by it. Who knows?
No, if it's in the public domain, I think it's definitely something that we should probably watch on stream.
Mean, it was vague enough. Like, it's the whole thing, like, oh, look at that star. Isn't that star beautiful? Well, Hitler could never do anything to that star. Like, so long after Hitler's gone, that star will still be there, be beautiful or whatever. And that is something that shows up explicitly in Lord of the Rings. But, like, The Great Dictator was written, like, 17 years-ish before Lord of the Rings. So I don't know that Tolkien was inspired by The Great Dictator, but like, maybe that was just, like, it's a generic enough thing that, like, maybe not.
Who knows? Who knows?
Fennec says, I'm incredibly sleepy and very annoyed. Yeah, I've been drinking the Macallan, so I'm getting sleepy as well. Just waiting for Sirs to come back to carry the show, as usual. Hobbit came out in 1937. Yeah. I'm waiting for Sirs to come back before we move on to the next news item. Because the next news item is kind of funny. Okay, I'm putting the bottle of scotch over here. I've had enough. I can feel it. It's good. The annoyance is I cannot find a swim cap that meets my personal needs and isn't $60 US. Well, if you oh, Van Briggs are deemed to hydrate. Thank you, Van Briggs. If you send me whatever the bits equivalent is of $50, I will find you a cheaper swim cap for you. Oh, hats as well, Van Briggs. Come on, give me a break. Get Unicorn Gary bucket hat, available at merch.vicefrano.com. Also, money would be nice because my kids like to eat. Holy fuck do they like to eat. They eat so much fucking food. These fucking kids. Like, we actually have to lock the snack cupboard. Because at least one of them steals snacks, and it's annoying as fuck. Like, we'll go to pack their lunches for them. I'm like, oh, we don't have any fucking food because this kid has eaten it all. Okay. Clueless Expert is giving started his hype train by gifting out community subs. So thank you for that, Clueless Expert.
It was pizza.
Pizza.
Somebody in my chat ordered pizza.
Ooh. I
have no idea who.
Oh, whoa.
I could use some pizza right about now. I've had enough scotch that I'm ready for the pizza.
You've had no scotch, you're ready for the pizza?
I have a hype train because somebody gifted a bunch of community subs. Clueless Expert gifted.
Hell yeah.
Oh, whoa.
And Fennec is still looking for a swimming cap. Says, I can afford the $60. I just don't want to pay it. For context, I cover my head on a daily basis. For personal reasons, I need a head cover for swimming. So there we go. Okay.
Glad to know the world is fucked up enough that we have sloshed Rhino.
Slosh Rhino. Yep. I put my scotch over there, so I can't have any more. So I'm as slosh as I'm gonna get.
Yep.
I will regret this tomorrow morning. I guarantee.
You will regret.
However, this is March break, so it's not like they need to get up at 6 a.m. like they normally do.
Oh, whoa.
So if I sleep in, it's fine. But yeah, thank you for. Oh my God, Dark Falcon just gifted
Oh, wow.
5 watering hole memberships on YouTube. So like, I don't think that counts towards the Twitch hype train, but yeah, we're getting we're getting some. We're running a train on something here.
Damn it.
I'll run a train on you for enough
Oh,
money.
whoa.
Yeah, but enough money for Rhino is like $5.
I mean, fair, but you also have to come to me. I'm not going to you for $5.
Oh,
I'm
whoa.
just saying, if you're not good enough for them to come to you in the first place, then why the fuck are you sexing them?
Just give me $5 and show up in my house. I'll suck your dick. Okay,
There you go.
that's how it goes. I'm a cheap hooker. Okay.
All of this is going to get used against me when I run for office. You realize that, right?
I do. I'm sorry. It's me. It's not you. It's me. You are a respectable person. I don't know why
No.
you hang out with me because I'm such a fucking degenerate.
I'm not a respectable person. I'm sitting here in the French maid outfit.
Van Briggs says we're running a train on UVR. Okay, yeah, go for it. That sounds like fun. That'd be amazing.
Like, I don't know what you mean by respectable when I can do this.
Running a train on me sounds like I'm gonna come, so that's fine by me.
Jesus.
As long as I come, I'm happy. However, it is spring break. No, not spring break. March break. It's March break right now, so my kids get to sleep in as well. Tomorrow's garbage day though, so I hope they remember to take the garbage out because that is their chore, and if they don't, I'm not going to be capable of it tomorrow.
Also, Rose Star, thank you for giving your points for an oh well. Sorry I missed it when it happened. I think it was around the time I had to go get the pizza. Could be wrong, but
Hey, I could use some food, and there's a link for that shows up occasionally.
there is a link for that. You could hit.
It's a fucking Baconator from Wendy's. That's the only thing that I bothered to add to the list.
If Rhino has set
Not
up
a single person has actually. You know what? Don't fucking do that because it might still be set up to take it to my old address. Because
Oh, then they just get a free Baconator.
So the people that fucking bought my house from me are just like, why is a Baconator here? I don't know.
I don't know. Eat it.